Okay, so in this video, what we want to do is go over the sound devices worksheet that you were given for homework. Before we do that, I want to go back and make sure that you do look at these formulas. So when you go to explain what the sound device is, this is what you're going to be expected to do. So I would strongly encourage you to go back through and look at these, what I call formulas, so you understand how you're being asked to explain what technique is being used. You'll see a big chunk on your test which is about this, and you'll need to be able to use these formulas, as I call them, to answer correctly. Okay, so I want to go over the Identifying Sounds of Poetry worksheet and kind of go through what the answers are. This can help you grade your assignment, and also it's good review for your formulas that we mentioned. So we did a couple of these already, number 1 and number 2 from giving the assignment out. So again, just go ahead and take a look at those. And again, how we're doing a couple of things here. So for example, number 1, we identified rhyme, but we're also explaining what type of rhyme. So what type and where the rhyme is taking place. So make sure you pay attention to that. And then we're also doing the same thing down here. So when you answer rhyme, it's not going to be enough to just put rhyme there. You have to put what type of rhyme it is and where it's taking place. Okay? All right. Let's go ahead and take a look at number 3. And again, there are a lot of different answers here that could work. But I want to make sure we understand just a couple of them that are obvious. So I'm going to talk about 2. The first I'm going to talk about alliteration. All right. So alliteration again is a repetition of consonant sounds at the beginning of a word. Okay. So here's how I would answer that question. So when we do alliteration, we want to know, again, if we go back and look at this sheet, all right, we want to know what letters repeat in what words. Okay. So I'm looking right here. So what I want to do is I'm going to take a look at this. I'm going to put down that the letter B repeats in the words birds, bees, and bombers. So again, when I'm talking about alliteration, I'm talking about the letters and what words they're repeating in. Okay. The second thing that I identified is that this does rhyme. And it rhymes with hooray, say, today is Friday. So if you look at that, that is actually an example of internal perfect rhyme. Okay, so why is it internal? First of all, it's taking place at the beginning and also at the end of the lines. It's also taking place in the beginning, in the middle of the lines. Okay. What makes it perfect rhyme is that the words that rhyme, hooray, say, today, and Friday, the part that rhymes, this AY, is basically spelled the same. Okay. So it's taking place at the beginning, middle, and end of the lines. When we explain rhyme, we want to explain what words rhyme where. Now, I can do this by saying what type and where, and I can also do that, if you look here in my example, perfectly rhyme at the end, okay, and that would go back to perfect end rhyme. So let me explain to you how we could do that. Okay, so for the second one, right, we could list that the words hooray, say, today, and Friday, okay, perfectly rhyme at, again, explaining the internal part of it, the beginning, middle, and end of lines 1 and 2. And again, that's how we would want to explain our rhyming. Okay? All right, let's take a look at number 4. Water rushing, gushing, pushing past the limits of the edge. Water barrels off the ledge, whipping up the bottom sludge. So again, you'll see there's a lot going on here. And again, our choices are alliteration, consonants, onomatopoeia, and repetition. Okay? The first thing that I noticed is that this rhymes. Okay, and again, if you go back and look at this, this is internal, perfect rhyme. Okay, and again, if you look at this, all right, we explain it. The words rushing, gushing, and pushing and actually I'm going to change that, sorry, because this is actually perfect end rhyme, that these are perfectly rhyme at the ends of line 1, 2, and 3. So I'm going to use my hyphen there. So again, rushing, gushing, and pushing, those are all the end words. You could also explain this by saying that this is perfect internal rhyme because of the word edge and ledge. So this is line, I believe it's 4, and the word edge and the word ledge are rhyming within the same line. So you could also explain it that way. Okay? So I'm going to use that as just perfect end rhyme, though, to show you how to do that. The second thing that I also notice is I notice consonants. Okay, and again, if I go back and look at my example, when it's consonants, what letters repeat in what words? Okay, so for me, the letters D and G, repeat in the words edge, ledge, and sludge. Okay. Oftentimes a student will put D, G, and E in there. The reason why that's wrong is that E is a vowel, so that would make it assonance. Right. But again, you see the consonant letters here, right? Repeating. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at number 5. Number 5. Crack an egg, stir the butter, break the yolk, stoke the heat, hear it sizzle, shake the salt. First of all, we have a really great example here of onomatopoeia. Right, one of my favorite words, by the way, to say in all of English. Okay, so all we want to do here is we want to just put down what word or words. So in this case, it's the words crack and sizzle. Ooh. Replace the sound they make. Okay. I also see, if I go back and look at this, one thing that sticks out to me is I also see alliteration. Okay. So again, what letters repeat here? So the letter S repeats at the beginning, because that's where alliteration is, at the beginning of the words stir, stoke, shake, and salt. And again, that's how we would explain it. Okay. All right. Big balloons bounce into the big blue sky, up, up, and away. There they go. All right. So we would, first of all, hopefully see alliteration. Okay. And again, if we go back and explain how that works, right? The letter B repeats at the beginning of, I don't have to write every single one of them, but we could put big, right? In this case, use an entire phrase from one of the lines, and I'm going to include big and blue. All right, and again, that just shows me where these words are repeating. The second thing that we maybe also noticed is that this is has an example of assonance. And again, assonance is the repetition of vowel sounds. So when I take a look at this, I might say, looking at it, that the vowel O repeats in the words bounce, and balloons and go. And again, when I do alliteration, assonance, or consonants, what letters repeat in what words? Okay. Number 7, great example again of onomatopoeia. Again, how do I explain that? Just again, the words bang and boom. Replace the sounds they make. Okay. Also, if we look carefully here, we'll see that this line is full of, actually full of a lot of them, but also full of consonants. And again, we would want to make sure we explain what letters repeat where. So when I look at this, I see one letter, so the consonant letter N repeats in the words, sorry. Another, tank, win, and button. Again, may not be all of them, but you can see the pattern. Okay. Number 8, and again, by the way, there's different answers here too. You could have assonance in there. Some of you might even have alliteration. Okay. What technique is being used? Again, look at our choices. Good beat me down like old Jim's shoes. Smiles turn to frowns. There is no logic in a world so tragic. Okay. So again, if you look here, we have actually 2 types of rhyme. We have what's called slant rhyme. Okay. In the word logic and tragic. And actually, what this would be is called slant end rhyme, because it takes place at the end of 1, 2, lines 3 and 4. So when I explain that, right? Again, what words rhyme where? So the words logic, and if I really want to be specific, almost rhyme at the end, if I could type, of lines 1, 2, as the end of lines 3 and 4. Okay. All right. I also see in this one assonance. That's something that jumped out to me. And again, I want to explain what letters and where. So the letter for me, one that jumps out is the letter O. Repeats in the words down, shoes, and frowns. And again, you might have more listed, but those are 3 for sure. Okay, last 2. Teacher finally lost her temper. Out she shouted at the creature. The creature hopped beside her glop. It gobbled up the teacher. So first of all, we have our good friend onomatopoeia, right? The word glop replaces the sound it makes. Okay, and then also in this example, we have a lot of rhymes. Okay, so I'm actually going to call this one, if you look at this, we're going to call it internal rhyme. And the reason why it's internal is because even though words like teacher and creature rhyme, they're not perfect because they're not spelled the same. So the words teacher and creature rhyme in lines 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and then last one, tiger, tiger, burning bright. In the force of the night, we have what's called repetition, and I just want to show you how to do this one. And then we also have what's called a perfect end rhyme, maybe, which you should know how to do by now. So when we do repetition, we just want to explain what words rhyme how often. So the word tiger repeats 2 times in line 1. And that's how we want to put this together. Look this over. Look over the formulas. If you have any questions, please let me know. And this should help for your test because you'll see this exact same section.